Hey, what is up nerds, geeks, and collectors alike? Today we are taking a look at the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime. And this particular figure was what got me back into collecting back in 2017. I remember seeing it on a top shelf from the toy aisle, and then I thought that kind of looks like a pretty good Optimus Prime figure. After the abomination of the Transformers Age of Extinction toy line, I thought this might be a good opportunity to give Transformers another shot, and maybe I like it. I won't deny that there wasn't any skepticism when I picked this figure up, but when I did, I thought to myself, I'm back in the game. And here we have the packaging for the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition. Here we have an image on Optimus, Transformers Premiere Edition, as well as his name. On the other side, here we have an image of Optimus Prime. It states here, he is Earth's greatest protector. And at the bottom, a Autobot logo. At the back here, we have our obligatory CGI product shots. And the other figure from the same wave, Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager class Grimlock that doesn't look like a fried chicken. And here we have Transformers Voyager class and the continuation of the image from the front. At the top, nothing much. And at the bottom, your usual legal mumbo jumbo as well as the UPC. Here is a Transformers Authentic. And that's about it for the packaging. And here we have Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime, looking very awesome. And it's kind of ironic that we got a pretty good Night Optimus Prime figure from a movie that barely showed any Optimus Prime.
Hey! I just found Optimus Prime! He's gonna deal with all this shit! He's gonna save my asses!
Knights, Autobots, this cannot and will not be the end. To save Earth and her people, we are going to steal Quintessa's staff. Only you, Vivian, can take it back. I will lead the way into her chamber, and when the account of the ages is etched into the cosmos, let those who exist long after us know that this was our finest hour.
And I gotta be honest, and I'm gonna tell you how skeptical I really was in getting this figure. Before getting this figure, I had to wait for our local store for its annual 3-day sale. I wasn't even willing to pay full price for this figure because I thought it was exactly or possibly worse than Age of Extinction. But boy, was I so wrong. This figure was enough to get me back into collecting, into buying Transformers figures after a long while. But moving on to the figure, let's take a closer look at the details here. We have a very awesome sculpt of Optimus Prime, and not to mention the application of paint is clean. My only gripe about the head sculpt are the eyes, that they painted the entire eyes navy baby blue, which is kind of weird. And moving on to the chest area, here we have some very good mechanical details, sculpted and painted very awesome. And my only gripe is the breastplate. I wish there were flames in there. And at the back we just have our typical truck kibble right here. At least Hasbro tried to make this figure appealing, and at least in front, and considering that all of his kibble in the CGI render almost disappears, which is kind of impossible. At least in a Voyager class range, that's kind of a long shot in getting that much quality. And here we have his sword, which is painted in orange, and it is made of this gray plastic. I do wish it was silver and with some added red paint rather than being just a flaming Cheeto. But then again, I remember that what they were going with is Optimus Prime weapons tends to be like a burning effect. But you can store the sword right here. That is both practically and visually appealing. That is if you want to display Optimus Prime with a sword. And what it really happens here is that there's a slot that it goes in, and just transform this back. You don't have to undo this entire piece. I just wanted to show you how it works right there. You don't have to undo that in order to store the sword. You can store it just by sliding it in or just giving it to him.
You ugly mess. Did you forget who I am? I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, attack!
And here we have Optimus Prime's shield. And again, I wish this was painted more accurately. I wish some pieces and all the accessories that this figure comes with was painted accurately. But then again, they released a Comic-Con exclusive 2017 Optimus Prime that came with the actual tire from the actual Western Star truck. But then again, I think, isn't that the figure that we should have gotten in the first place? The one with more accurate paint scheme?
Vivian, get in here!
But moving on to Optimus Prime's articulation. His head is on a ball joint, but he can only look at his left and right that much. He can look up and down barely. That's due to the fact that his armor pieces are wearing him down. His shoulder pad is on a hinge right here, so you can move it. His arm can do an entire 360 with no problem at all. He does have this butterfly joint, but that's more for the transformation. But then again, it's strategically placed there, so I'm gonna count that as an articulation. He also has a bicep swivel and then a 90-degree bend at the elbow, but he does not come with any wrist articulation. And then Optimus Prime has a waist swivel right here. As you can see, his skirt can move up. That gives it the clearance for him to kick up that high and move his feet that far, which is very far. And he can do the spreads with no problem at all. But then again, it's being hindered by the kibble. He has a thigh swivel and a not so 90-degree bend at the knee, and as you can see here, it's due to the kibble. His feet does not have any articulation at all, no back and forth, and not even a pivot. But there you have it, the articulation of the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Optimus Prime. And moving on to the size comparison, let's get out that trusted ruler. And as you can see here, Optimus Prime stands about 7 inches high, but if you include the horns, he does stand a little above 7 inches. And here we have the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager class Megatron.
You blew your chance to kill Unicron. I knew you couldn't do it. Your time is over, Prime. You failed. You turned your back on Cybertron. Now you will watch Earth die.
Optimus Prime's polar opposite, as well as his arch enemy.
Once.
And here we have Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Bumblebee.
We can make it!
I am Nemesis Prime. You are nothing.
And for the scaling, here we have Bumblebee standing about 5 inches right here. And Optimus Prime again 7 inches. And Megatron as well standing about 7 inches high. So that's it for the size comparison. Let's get this guy transformed. And here we have Optimus Prime in his 2014 Western Star 5700 alternate truck mode, and this thing is a pretty good representation of the real-life Western Star truck. I like the added Autobot logo up there, and much like the Takara Tomy Transformers The Last Night Caliber Optimus Prime, I like the fact that this particular figure has some weapon storage. As you can see, here we have the shield at the back and the weapon at the bottom. And even though the weapon is at the bottom, this figure can roll very well on a flat surface. All 6 of its wheels rotate with no problem at all, and as you can see here, the weapon is not scuffed or its paint is not chipped, which is pretty good. And here for the size comparison, as you can see, Optimus Prime is 3 inches high. He is 3.5 inches if you count the smokestacks, and right here he is about almost a little below 2.5 inches wide, and he is 7 inches long. And that's about it for the measurements of Optimus Prime. Let's bring out Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Voyager class Megatron. And as you can see here, I think Megatron is a little too small right here. It's kind of hard to fit them in the frame, but you get the idea. Megatron is more of this Cybertronian plane, while Optimus Prime is a Earth-based vehicle. And here we have the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Wave 3 Bumblebee, which I think looks pretty good together. And judging by the doors from the vehicles, I think Bumblebee is a little too big, or Optimus Prime is just a little too small. But then again, if you look at them together in robot mode, I think they look pretty cool. So what can I say about the figure? I think it is a pretty good representation of the Knight Optimus Prime. At the time this was released, this was dubbed as the best version or best figure form representation of the Knight Optimus Prime. He is, without a doubt, a great improvement from his predecessor, the Transformers Age of Extinction Leader Class Optimus Prime. And considering the CGI render was almost too impossible to translate in figure form, and considering this is a Voyager class, I think this is the best that we can get. That is, if Hasbro is willing to make the effort into making this a better figure despite of it just being a regular Voyager class. But if they do, who can deny that that would be a great addition to the Studio Series line. For the meantime, as its own thing, this figure really carries his own weight, and I consider this one of the best Voyager class Optimus Prime by Hasbro. So if you like this video, drop a like and subscribe for more content. It really helps me out. Till next time, see ya!